Good afternoon, everybody. Josh Mandel, Cyclone here, and today I'm going to share with you a balloon animal that you don't see made very much anymore. It is Snoopy on a motorcycle, and I think the reason you don't see it anymore is it was invented back in the early 70s, I think, by Roger Siegel, who wrote the book Roger's Rubber Ark and Roger's Rubber Jungle, and I think he came out with it in like 71 or 72, and back then when I was 13 or so, I used to make it all the time, not only because you can't get much more bang for the buck out of a single balloon than Snoopy on a motorcycle, but also because it was a really good practice piece. The amount of inflation had to be just right, the size of the bubbles had to be just right, or you were going to run out of air or run out of slack, and back then I really wasn't savvy enough to just, if I ran out of slack, to just pierce the end of the balloon, let some air out and retie it. We didn't do things like that back in the 70s. Anyway, to make Snoopy on a motorcycle, you want to start out with probably a white balloon if you're going to make a really authentic Snoopy, and then color in the ears and the nose and so on with a black magic marker. Just for the sake of illustration, I'm going to use this azure blue pearl. This is a pearl azure blue, only because I think it'll show up better on camera, but also sometimes I use a light blue for a Snoopy. You want to blow it up and leave a good hand and half a thumb worth of tail on that balloon, because you're going to make a lot of little twists in this one balloon. And you also want it fairly soft, so even when you get the length to be where you want it, you also want to bleed a little air out just to keep the whole thing soft, because you're making a few odd twists. So you want to start off with the Snoopy nose, and the Snoopy nose uses an extra long bubble, and here I'm going to use about a 6-inch bubble, and ears that are about half that long, maybe 2.5, 3 inches at most. Again, soft, slightly soft, because we're going to work these bubbles a bit to make the Snoopy head. And to make the Snoopy head, you take your soft, extra long nose, you pull it over and shove it in between the two ears, like that, and let his nose come out at almost a right angle, but not quite. This is a good profile for a Snoopy. This is just about right. A small neck, maybe a little bit less than an inch even. Small front legs, just maybe 2 inches at most. I like to put little paws at the end for a little extra added detail, and these are like maybe at the most half-inch bubbles. I like making really small bubbles for fine detail. And then a matching front leg, just like that. This is our good start of a Snoopy. Now his back, you really don't want to make very long either, because we're going to need a lot of this length for the motorcycle. Maybe about 2 inches long for the back. And now you're going to make a 1-inch bubble and you're going to pinch twist it. This makes the seat of the motorcycle, or the butt of Snoopy if you would prefer. And this is good. We have a lot of balloon left over here. We're going to make a loop twist for the back tire, and then the base of the motorcycle, and then another loop twist for the front wheel, and then whatever else is left over will stick out over here actually for sort of the headlamp or the front of the motorcycle. So I'm going to get some extra length out of this by squeezing it and softening it. I'm going to make a nice rear tire out of a loop twist. And then this then you want to make a single bubble that's about as long as Snoopy's back. And one more loop twist, and squeeze the rest out into a little bubble. This is going to be the headlamp. This remainder is going to be the headlamp. Now you can straighten out your tires. You want everything aligned. Turn Snoopy, and take this headlamp, and you're going to do a roll through between the front arms and paws, And you're going to push those paws down into the twist and straighten everything out. Move forward a bit, turn him, turn the wheels, and ladies and gentlemen, this is Snoopy on a motorcycle. Now, of course, I would color in his ears. The knot already works fairly well for the nose, and actually for the eyes on a Snoopy, I've never been quite sure where to put them. They look like they would be spaced a little better if you put them on either side, almost on the ears, but then again, they don't look quite right there either. So often I don't add eyes. I just let this one speak as is. I think it reads just fine the way it is. Of course, he doesn't have any back legs, but that's the price you pay when you try to make such a complex figure out of a single balloon. So, Snoopy on a motorcycle, courtesy of Roger Siegel. Thank you.